I have a confession to make. I am a MAGA Republican. I am a semi-fascist. But before I was all of that, I was a black white supremacist. I was first dubbed that in Tucson, Arizona. As a matter of fact, I'm the leader of that kind of thing. This whole craziness that's happening with the left to call people that they hate a Nazi, to call them a supremacist, to call them racist. What's crazy is that we now are at the point in our country where this is how political enemies are being defined by the Democrats. They're calling them Nazis. They're calling them fascists. They're painting them as evil. And you know what we did to Nazis and fascists in World War II? We shot them and we killed them. We went to war to do so. I do believe that this president is calling for a war in America, and he's saying that the Democrats must exterminate their Republican vermin, especially if they're MAGA, if they're America first, if they're supporters of President Trump. We have never seen anything like this in our country before. I don't think we've come close. Maybe we did under Obama, who weaponized the FBI, who weaponized the DOJ and the IRS. Maybe it was creeping a little bit further if Hillary would have had the opportunity to be president. Thank God she did not. But here we are with Biden, old, addled, demented Biden, who probably isn't calling the shots, but do not doubt for 1 second that hatred that he's spewing all over the country, actually in Philadelphia, in these high school gymnasiums that only hold about 4,000 people that they had to haul in there, that's real. The hatred from Biden is real and has always been there. It's just that he no longer has a brain to filter it. And when he gets off of that teleprompter, what is his electronic brain, it just flows free. So tomorrow we're going to have a speech where he's going to come out and talk about the soul of a nation. But if we're to base that speech on what he was saying yesterday in Philadelphia, this is going to be ugly. This is going to be an us versus them. As a matter of fact, he's already said that. He's called out the Republicans in Congress and said, which side are you on? Which side? This is the day to choose. Well, the problem is for 73 million people in this country, and maybe more now, is that we have chosen. And we've chosen against the Democrats. We've chosen against their policies. We've chosen against the way that they view their fellow Americans. And we've chosen against the way that they view the world. We've made our choice. The question is, what is that choice going to cost us? We see what it's cost people like President Trump, Paul Manafort. We see what it's cost General Flynn. We see what it's cost those people who went out there and peacefully protested on January 6th. Yes, I said peacefully protested. It wasn't until the FBI's henchmen got involved and led those people into the Capitol building, and then they had their other hit squad out there climbing up the side of the walls, throwing smoke bombs and acting crazy and being violent. That was not Trump supporters. I'm sorry. It never has been. Since Trump came down the escalator to all of the rallies that are going around the country, you have never seen Trump supporters act the way that we supposedly act on January the 6th. I'm sorry, I'm not buying it. And the fact that you had the FBI go ahead and round up everybody who was in that city that day, going so far as going to Alaska to drag people back. I'm sorry. We didn't see them do that with Antifa. We didn't see them do that with Black Lives Matter. You actually had those groups burning down federal buildings, taking over police offices, setting up, Chad, the little occupied zones in cities, going crazy. They never got the treatment that Trump supporters are getting. So we know the war has already started. All that's happened here is that the adult president, Biden, more importantly, his supporters are letting it be known they're coming after you. If you defy them, if you dare vote against them, they're demonstrating to you what they'll do. They'll drag you out of an airport. They will gank your phone. They will pull you out of your house in the middle of the night in your drawers to humiliate you. They'll go through your business dealings. They will go through your tax returns. They will harass you. They're bringing in 87,000 new IRS agents to make sure that you comply. Will you? Will you? And for those of you who are believers, well, this is nothing new. Now, this is political persecution. But Christians throughout history have used to being persecuted. And I would rather, you know, if you can come get me, Jesus is Lord. I'm not trying to die for any kind of political ideology. Jesus is Lord. But we cannot ignore the fact that our fantastic system of government was based on a belief in Jesus, in God, the God in heaven. And our freedoms are protected by him. And that Constitution was supposed to protect us from a tyrannical government. Well, guess what? You got a Democrat Party in there right now that's running roughshod over the Constitution. It's no longer protecting us. I don't know what's to come of that. But what I do know is that we still have a legitimate chance to change things through the ballot box. We have to make sure that we get there in November and bring our friends and our family with us. And in between now and then, we got to keep our eyes on what's happening. And we have to stay in prayer for this country, for the previous president, even for this president, for the people that are misusing him. That's what we need to be praying for, that they stop. But I got to tell you, it's not just America. I see it happening in Canada. I see it happening in Australia, New Zealand, in Great Britain, in France, in Germany. They're trying to reset us into a new world of poverty. They're trying to control us through the electric grid, you know, with our cars. They're trying to take away our money, and they're trying to take out the farms to feed people. The less food there is, the less energy is, the more control they have. We're going to let them do that. Stay in prayer, my friends, and realize that the good thing that's going to happen tomorrow is President Biden is going to make it crystal clear, and it will be a time for choosing. I hope most Americans choose correctly. My name is James C. Harris. This is my YouTube channel. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And every time we put out a new video, you will be notified. Until we meet again, let's go.